Hi everybody, welcome to Bede Sisters. I'm Kay and I'm so glad you're here. It has changed outside dramatically in the last few days. Over the weekend we had lows in the teens. One night it was the lower teens. It was, I don't even remember, like 13 degrees or something. Highs in the 30s to 40s. It's in the mid 70s today, January 25th. Welcome to South Carolina. You can just stay where you are and you'll get a winter vacation and then a summer vacation. Unfortunately, not much snow. We haven't had snow to more than in flurries and feels like forever. But we have had rain and it's been just dreary, humid, and crazy warm. The problem is when it gets warm like this for very long in the winter, early blooming plants will start to come back up, start to bloom, start to leaf out. And then of course it's going to freeze again and it'll kill those early blooms. For some stuff it doesn't matter that much. It'll just leaf out again when it gets warm. But some stuff, if it blooms once, this is it. It's really hard on like for us it's inconvenient. It's not fun. We don't get our same flowers, but for peach farmers and people like that, it can be pretty crushing. So I'm hoping that we will get back to normal temperatures before too long. Right now it's not a problem, but if it lasts for a week or more, well above freezing, then that some of the farmers may be in trouble. So yeah, let's hope that gets back to typical winter pretty soon. So how are you? Did you notice I finished my chain gang Neckwrap? I knew I'd think of the name of it, by Suellen Holmes. The design, you can do it multiple ways. What she suggested, this is part of our retreat project, she gave us these giant buttons and a pin back to attach to it. It just is a sticker back to the pin. Let's see if you can see right there. And then you take your chain and wrap it around however you like. You can loop 2 on there, you can loop it through and just do 1, but the idea is that you can use your button over here to secure it to the side and give you a little styling option. Another possibility is to do another link and actually make it like an infinity deal. So you could do an additional link and put these together, and then it would just be a giant loop. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. I like how it turned out. I really like these colors, and it's not heavy. I think I'll keep it on for now. But y'all, I switched on the air conditioning up here. It was getting stuffy up here. It's January 25th. Did I mention that? January 25th, and I needed the air conditioning on up here. I mean, granted, I am a woman of a certain age, so air conditioning is really important, but I don't usually need it in January. Crazy. Do I have a Stanley Cup? No, I do not. But does this keep my drinks cold for hours? Also, no. What it does have, however, is sentimental value. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Yeah. Pullman Hotels and Resorts, Port Douglas Sea Temple Resort and Spa. They do indeed have a very nice spa. So this was from our trip to Australia last year. It was a complimentary water bottle in our room, and it's wonderful. It is not insulated, so it won't keep my drink cold all that long, but I kind of like it. Most of my water bottles are things like that we've gotten as freebies. I have a Yeti cup that I use for coffee, and it does actually keep coffee hot for a really long time. It says Yeti on the bottom, but on the thing it says Invesco. It was a freebie to my husband, who's a financial advisor. Are you fancy? Do you have a Stanley Cup? Do you have, what are some of the others? What was the last one? Yeti was a big one. Tervis. Are you old enough to be a part of the Tervis craze? I do have several Tervis cups that I don't actually use all that much. Well, let's talk about what I've done besides finishing this. I haven't finished, but I have made progress on my other sock. So I have sock 1 of another one for the road. That was done last week. I've gotten this one past the heel, so I'm on the foot. I worked on this one at church last night as we continue our study in the book of Acts. I was knitting on this and taking notes. I don't know if anybody cared. I don't think so. But I'm going to have some really nice memories of studying the book of Acts knit into these socks. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so this is from the Hypnotic Yarn Christmas Eve Cast On box. This is the yarn. I had the Vintage Ornaments colorway. I think there was another option. I don't remember what they were called, but Vintage Ornaments is the one that I had. And it included some little like test tube vial kind of things with what looks sort of like hot cocoa mix, I guess, in it, with some sprinkles and that kind of stuff in it. But I'm not really sure what it is. There was no explanation in the box, and I haven't found a complete explanation for it yet. But I did find something. I'll try to remember to link to who it was. I don't remember the name of the podcast. It was a YouTube channel. Somebody also got a Hypnotic Yarn box. It was the whatever the other colorway was. That's what they had. And she also got the little vials and wasn't quite sure herself what it was. So I put a comment on there and said, did you figure out what it was? She said, I think it's hot cocoa. What I did last night was to warm up some milk. And oh, I need to tell you, if I remember, I'll put in a picture, but one looks like cocoa, like it looks like chocolate. The other one looks like vanilla or something. It's a cream color. Otherwise, they're the same. So I put some of the cream color one in there and had, can't think of what you call them, the little chocolate things, like sprinkles that you put on stuff. I could not finish it when it got to those at the bottom because it just looked icky. It tasted fine, but it looked a little weird with those in there. But the drink itself, I didn't add the whole thing because it looked like it was probably a lot of sugar. So I only put about half, and maybe it would have added more flavor if I did that. It didn't taste bad. It just didn't taste like much of anything, but it's probably because I didn't use all of it. Anyway, I'm guessing that because I'm still alive, it was safe to do that. And yeah, so I guess that's what it is. Yes. Did I say that right? I can barely talk today. I think that's what it is. So it's cocoa mix. And I'm going to try it again, probably add milk. I may try the chocolate one tonight and see what I think. But the little test tubes are really cute. It's a little glass with a cork stopper in it. Super cute. If you know what it is, please tell me, because I hope I'm not doing myself harm. I've been doing some sewing. That's what I've been doing besides knitting when I've had some time. Two things, actually. I'll sewing, and I'll show you my sewing in just a minute, the stuff that I finished and what is next up before the KnitInn in Greenville next week. My decluttering business is a little bit busier right now. It's January, so people are getting into their New Year's resolution of I'm going to get organized. And so I'm getting people who are contacting me for declutter coaching. If you need somebody, I can do that online. So as long as you can communicate with me over a Zoom call, I can do that with you as well. I will simply coach you through the process of decluttering. I can tell you that I have found that 2 hours is the limit for most people. Even people who are don't have trouble getting rid of things. They don't necessarily have a lot of trouble making decisions. Sometimes they just need a little bit of a push. They need somebody to talk through it with them. So we're not talking about people who really struggle with little things. And even then, they tend to just get tired of making decisions after about a max of 2 hours. And so I think occasionally you might have a space that it just needs a lot of work over several hours, and it's a lot of easy decisions. But for most people, 2 hours is about the limit. So think on that if you want to hire somebody. I recommend sticking with, at least to begin with, 1 to 2 hours of coaching time for somebody to help you through making those decisions. If you're working on it on your own, again, plan to take a break after about an hour and really kind of check on how you're doing after 2 hours. If you're getting tired, that is perfectly normal to at least need a break after a couple of hours of decluttering. So that's the other thing I've been doing, and that's why I haven't gotten a lot of knitting time. But I've got some drawstring bags made. I should have gotten drawstring stuff today. I was at the store and I forgot to do it. So anyway, I will get the woven ribbon for the drawstrings between now and next week. And I think it's so cute. Is that focusing? Kinda. Got my labels. I like these labels a lot. The person I had been buying labels from went out of business, so I had to switch, but I'm really pleased with these. The person is reliable and they get stuff out pretty quick. So I think these look really cute with the trucks on them. And it's a muslin lining, got a little string. It came off. There we go. Can you see inside? You could put pretty easily a 2 skein project in this, and probably 3. And whoops, this is the one with the heart yarn on it. Isn't that cute? I am really excited about these. I think this looks really good. And again, it's got a little label, a little Bede Sisters label down here. This is a faux leather. Can you see it? Little faux leather label. So really cute. The next thing, I've got a few more of those almost done. I've got most of it put together. I've got to do the little boxed base and sew together the turning opening. And then those will be done. It'll take me, I don't know, 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes each to finish those up. So I should be able to finish that this afternoon. We'll see. The other thing that I'm going to focus on, I've got some other fabric that I may have showed you before, but I may not get to that. But let me grab the other. I think I might have showed you this last week. It's the ice dye fabric. This is the other fabric I really want to get done and made into bags. I just think this is so gorgeous. And these fabric panels are absolutely one of a kind. I took an ice dye class at SAF a year and a half ago with, I think it's Jennifer of Wax On Studio. And I probably mentioned this before, but I bought this yardage, so yard each of these colors. One of them I've obviously used some. But I bought some yardage from her and asked her permission to make things for sale. And again, I just realized I don't have my microphone. I'm not even going to worry about it this time. I was thinking about it when I came up here and then didn't grab it. But I love these fabrics. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is going to be made into bags, hopefully for next week. This probably is the one that I need to focus on if I only get one of these done, because it's got some of those pinky purples in it too. It's just so cool. So really excited about getting that done. I'll tell you what, I have another topic and I will get my microphone for that. Hang on. Okay, hopefully that's going to pick up okay. I'm so sorry. If you wanted a professional podcast, you wouldn't be coming here, would you? Okay, I think I mentioned before, I finished the Patricia Cornwell Unnatural Death. It was pretty good. I don't know that it was her best, but it was pretty good. Better than a lot of things that are out there. It's like I feel about certain movie series that sometimes the second and third one are not that great, but they're still better than most other things out there. So it was pretty good. I'm glad I read it. But I can't say it was my favorite. So I've started this one. What's that? From a Far and Lovely Country, Alexander McCall Smith. These are the #1 Ladies Detective Agency books series. It's starting off really well. It starts with the main character, Precious Ramotswe, and it's her birthday, and her husband has forgotten her birthday. So I like it. I've gotten a little ways. It doesn't want to, it wants to stay on my face, but there it goes. So I'm on page 51, getting started. The other one, y'all, I went to a library that I don't normally go to. I happen to be in another town. It's all part of our library system, but it's in another town. And I found this. Simon Pratt, The Clutter Corpse. Look at this. A decluttering mystery. The main character is a decluttering coach. So I don't know if that's actually the word. It's set near London. I was just going to see if it names, it just says she's a declutterer. The main character does more things like helping true hoarders and people that are in fairly extreme situations, and that's not really what I do. I would be willing to help, but I don't know that I'm the best choice for somebody that's like a clinical diagnosis kind of situation. But yeah, she goes in and she helps people declutter. And I'm so excited to find this. I had thought a while back that that would make a really good mystery series. And if I were a good writer, I would have totally started writing that. Somebody beat me to it. All right, everybody. It has been 18 minutes of me babbling on and forgetting my microphone. And I am so sorry. I was going to say, did I say this out loud a while ago? Was that just in my head? About next Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning, if you think about it, add a comment or email me at bedesisters.com and say, Kay, remember your microphone this week. I need a reminder. Well, I hope you all are having a very good end of January. I hope whatever the weather is where you are enjoying it. If it were less humid, I would be fine with the warmer weather for a few days. All right, everybody, it's been good visiting with you, and I will chat with you hopefully next week. It may actually be from Greenville while I'm at the KnitInn. So see you then.